Hey, how's it going tonight, everybody? Hey, I'm just just as I said in the chat. Hey, I'm Geoff. You can call me Wags. This is WagWorksGA, as you know, because you can just read that on the Twitch page in your app or browser. But yeah, welcome on in. We're gonna do some art tonight. Yeah, I hope you're having a good Thursday night so far. Unless you're somewhere there where it's already Friday, in which case I hope you're having a good Friday morning so far. Seems sound. Frank, how's it going? Yeah, so I guess we can just hop right into warm-ups. I may have had a sip of coffee just immediately before to you know, combat my you know, tired self. What do I want? I want to draw things. What do you want? It's always good to start out by just, you know, being combative. Yeah. So what I do for a warm up, as you may or may not know, you can't say in here. Okay. We are family friendly. That's true. Yep. So we use these guys. I'm losing all the cards. It's good times. Yeah, we use these guys for warm-up. I'm gonna pick, I only grabbed 3 this time. I've pre-picked 3 to work with, and I'm just gonna randomly pick one, and that's gonna be our warm-up for the night. Alright, so we got Scyther. So Ashley helps me out with getting these on YouTube, and she's noted that it sometimes is hard to tell which Pokemon. So by saying it, typing it, and holding the card a little longer, I can help her out with that, since she is indeed helping me out. So Scyther, that's who we are going to draw tonight. Oh, you know, it would have helped to start up Clip Studio all the way first, but I didn't do that, so we'll figure that out. You Scyther. Do you prefer Scyther, Cleavor, Skeletors instead? Skeletors is pretty awesome, I gotta say. I don't think we have a Skeledirge card, actually. Just a moment while I use my brain for locating this file. Yay! Cool. It's probably going to be a quick one tonight. I actually was doing some more work on this comic outside of stream, and it's pretty close to done. The one that I'll be doing on for the one I'll be doing for the main part of the stream. But it's all good. In the meantime, though, we warm up. All right, now I can switch over to Clip Studio Paint since I've actually opened it. Yay! Look at us go. All right, so yeah, here's the deal. Warm up is 5 minutes. And during that, I'm basically just gonna be doing a rough sketch just to get loosened up and warmed up. I'm not really pushing to get very far with it. I'm more just loosening up my arm and starting to think with my art brain, as my brain has been doing scientisty, computery, also parenty things all day. So there's all that. We're gonna grab a reference really quickly just to have that on in the window. You are, of course, welcome to draw along. In fact, highly encouraged to do so because drawing is fun. You don't have to draw Pokemon. You can draw whatever you'd like. Okie dokie. There we go. Clear out some of the black. And just to make life a little bit easier, if you were, say, trying to, you know, post this on YouTube and didn't know all Pokemon automatically, we'll go ahead and put the name right up there. Name our layers, which you can't see because I did this new layout where you can't actually see my layers menu. But I'm doing it, trust me. Okay. Okay, I think we're actually all set up now. I like to do my sketch in not black. Okay, it's Scyther. We can do a green. Okay, so yeah, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer. 5 minutes. Here we go. Okay. Per usual, I like to draw my Pokemon warm-up as a sleeping Pokemon. And my usual spiel is pretty simple. It's a little limitation that gets me creatively started a little bit faster. Also, sleeping Pokemon are cute, and I've done quite a few finished pieces of them, or several finished pieces of them, so it's kind of also like, working on growing the collection. But yeah, it's sometimes easier just to have a subset of possible poses, so you're not spending all your time trying to figure out what you want to draw the Pokemon doing. I should scoot this sketch up a little bit. By the way, in case I didn't say it, some of you might remember that I did the entered into the Pokemon trading card game illustration contest for this year. I did not make the top 300, which was the first cut. But if you go and check out their gallery, there's lots of incredible artwork out there that you should definitely, if you're a Pokemon art fan, you should check it out. Actually, maybe that leg part would be a little bit lower. Maybe that would be, how would this curve with a tree behind its back? It's probably kind of come back, and then you have the leg things here, and this leg one here, and the legs would go forward, maybe? Feel like that's the way we'd go. Maybe kicking the feet up like that. Crossing the arms like that. The crazy weapon-like arms. Definitely one of the harder Pokemon to try to make look cute. But I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna try. Okay, so this is getting a little bit. Bump up that eraser size. This is getting a little bit lost here. Just need to clear out some of these extra sketch lines to make sure I can clearly see what I got going on. Okay, so there's that. This comes through here. This leg chunk is pretty big there. Okay. So probably clear this out a little bit. And then just the leg chunk there would be more fitted there. Something like that. Faster, Geoff, faster. I need to go faster. I can do it. Yeah, the legs are a little bit wonky. This is gonna be one of those, I feel like, where it's, you know, it's a bit more complex of a design on the Pokemon, and kind of trying to manipulate it around is definitely a little more challenging. So were I to come back and say, hey, well, I'd like to finish that Scyther that I started, that looked all whacked out, I would definitely need to take some time to kind of clean it up and yeah, make things make a little more physical sense. This is not right here. This is not right here. Yeah, wow. 5 minutes flies when they're complicated shapes. Hi, seeing a few, Frank. That's okay. That's okay, because the point was to warm up, to kind of loosen up everything and get it out of the system. Not every warm up is going to be my favorite, and this is not one of my favorites. But it's okay. It's a good challenge, and I will at some point possibly come back to it and clean it up. But challenges are good too, because they help you see what you can still work on, and they also are kind of just nice to push you out of your comfort zone. I feel like saying that is gonna suddenly summon Janos out of the ether, as we've had a lot of great discussions about that. Today's October 3rd, don't you know? So I'm saving my work, by the way, in case you're wondering why I seem to be doing stuff but nothing is happening. That's why. Okay. Okay. So that's saved. We're all good here. Yeah, really, I think it's mostly just the legs. And I would just fix kind of like in here. This one I've angled too far to where it's like unnaturally. And also doing something about is that the thorax? My bug anatomy is not what it once was. That sounds weird to say. Anyway. Yeah, so that's what I'd probably clean up if I was going to come back and work on this. But what I am going to work on tonight, for the rest of the night, I don't expect it'll go super long, as I'm going to finish this guy. This is our first comic for Core Toons Season 2. I'm excited. We did, I think, 10 total comics for the first season for our contribution, me and Ashley. And what did we do, like 36, 38 total as a group of creators, which was pretty amazing considering we launched in like January. But yeah, so we're kicking things off with an origin story for our characters in our Weatherwise comic. We've got Corey and Chloe. Why did I blank on that? We've been writing these characters even before we did Core Toons. We had these characters in a graphic novel. Yeah, do I have the time-lapse window open in this particular? What is happening? There we go. No, I do not. Time-lapse? Anyone? Nope. Okay. What I was doing is bringing up the time-lapse to show how it's come together so far. And I can do that. There we go. Yep. Bam. It just takes a second. I love that Clip Studio can record this so quickly and easily. It's very convenient. And also I just get entranced watching it, like, even though I did it with my own hand, it's like magic. Oh, thanks, Ashley. Frank, I would never. Yes. That's a good point. We can emphasize that one. We kind of lost the italics. I could italic. Okay. I think that we got with this typeface an italicized version. So we could take that and further italicize it. Oop, don't want to move it. There we go. Let's try that. So Frank, by the way, how's your week been going? All right, I will eventually remember what I was doing. Nice. Italic, and then also italicized. I mean, do we go? We could go bold italic. It's already bold italic. It doesn't further bold it? Oh, I thought it totally would. That's Frank. Oh, man. So, Ash, does this look more emphasized? Or should I, because I can bump up the font size as well to give it a little extra weight. Change my font color there. It's cool. All right. Because yeah, otherwise there would be like that. Is that too much? All right, we'll leave it like this for now. I mean, spoiler alert, Ashley is, the writer, and we work together, so we can always adjust it later. Okay, bye. Thanks for joining. All right. And okay, good. It did turn off the time lapse, but just in case. Ashley cameo over. It's always good when she drops in. But we are, parents of 2 children with, full-time jobs, keeping us busy during the day and all that. So this is, nighttime is limited and the batteries do drain quickly for both of us. Okay. So basically what I'm going to be doing tonight is just wrapping up the color and adding shading, and that's going to do it for this one. You might notice from last week I changed the font. We ended up going with another Blambot font that was a little bit closer to what our old one was. The other one was okay, it just didn't quite feel right for me. So, although this one does have, it is an all caps font, which is a little bit different than what we had done before. But the advantage of all caps is it's supposed to be more helpful for people with dyslexia, so that's a good one. Or that's a good feature of it, I should say. Okay, that looks good. Okay, and now that I've mussed with the text a bit, I'm going to turn it off so I can color in. Alright, so what I have left is all the decisions. Basically. Since, you know, I didn't grab this eye color real quick. Again, hotkeys, what are those? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of things like I already kind of have some set colors for a palette for the main characters and, you know, generic outdoorsy stuff on a sunny day. So now I just have to pick how to color the other kids. I don't know why this is something that I always find like daunting. Like, oh no, choices. What do I do? Is that different enough from Corey's hair color? I might switch it up just to give it a little variety. And then make this one... Can we do like a red or more red? Something like that maybe? I feel like that works. And really what I'm doing here is just laying in some very rough color, and I'm going to clean it up a little bit with a pen tool, but the magic eraser with like a little bit of overspill on it is really nice for getting a fill in underneath the lines a bit. Okay. You know what I could do? I think we don't have a crazy amount of variety in here. How do I do this? Time for me to start and finish a comic before Geoff finishes his. Cracks knuckles. I mean, this would not be the first time this has happened. Oh, I was gonna ask Frank, did you end up doing Friday Night Comics last week? And if so, how did you like it? Do a darker skin tone on this one, maybe even darker. You are going to, but... Saturate slightly more, darken slightly more. Yeah, we can go dark. That's good. Forgot to register. It's good. I think they're all really interesting. All the ones that I've been to, and I haven't been to a crazy number. Maybe 4 or 5 of them. It's just a hard time schedule. It's like with kids and family dinner and everything. But every one that I've done has been awesome, and I've been super glad that I've done it. Yeah, if you do it tomorrow, I hope you really enjoy it. It's very cool. And like I said, the thing for me that was always really interesting was seeing how fast people could get stuff together, and like the level of quality of stuff that they put together in such a short time. Pink. Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'm not gonna try to use a magic select tool there. But yeah, if you do it, enjoy it. It's good times. It's tons to learn, and always good to be able to push yourself. Although for you, maybe it's just going to be like your normal pace. Like, yeah, I did 3 comics in the time that they gave us. What's the challenge, Geoff? Actually, I can tell you exactly what my challenge is, and it's decision making, and perfectionism. That's my challenge. Like I can absolutely carry out the actions of putting together comics pretty quickly, but man, I tell you what, making the decisions to form said comic, I take some time and I second guess myself a whole bunch. This is why it helps to have a writer, especially for me, is I don't have to agonize over all those decisions. You tried being healthy today? In what way? Sorry, that sounded really patronizing, and I did not mean for it to be. In what way? Okay, salad at Wendy's. Nice shoes. Yeah, I think usually I've just made the uppers gray. It was backed up like 20 cars. So you got a burger at Arby's instead. Health failed. Just get an Arby's, famous meat salad. I don't think they actually have that yet. Maybe they will. They're probably listening right now. The world is telling you that salads aren't good. No. Salads are not. Salads are not the problem here. What did salads ever do to you? Maybe like one navy blue or the water bottles. Everyone must have one. I mean, they could have gotten other things at Wendy's too, right? Maybe just everybody wanted a Frosty real bad. No one goes to Wendy's for the salads. Yeah, I would tend to agree. That's not my first thought when I think of, what to get there. But I mean, hey, I'm just a crazy old man, so who knows? Really? Like, so Chick-fil-A has really good salads. Alright, what else do I have to color in on this panel before I get ahead of myself? Nope. Nope. I keep tapping on the lines, man. What am I even doing? No Chick-fil-A? Gotcha. I mean, I don't know that I've actually tried a Wendy's salad before. Nope. That's not what I wanted. Alright, so let's get this guy cleaned up. Okay, that's all pretty good. Okay. Okay, not the tightest, but they're also microscopic on the page, so I think that's okay. Just prepackaged. I reminded you of Bobby from King of the Hill, that boy ain't right character. Oh, it figures. Oh, it figures. Maybe desaturate it. I can get kind of that. No, it doesn't quite look right. Okay. That's what you say about me? Is there anything in particular that causes you to say that, or is it just a general feeling of unrightness? I don't know. I don't know either, Frank. It's probably fine, right? Right? Okay. All right, I think we're good here. So, grab this. Grabbing the shirt color here. Is it different than the hair color? You know, I am kind of glad that I didn't try to plan a whole bunch of stuff to do tonight, because I do see that there's a lot more detail to finish in these little bits of color than I had initially looked at. But still should be able to wrap it up, not without too much time. Okay. Was it the Arby's meat salad? Was that what the not right thing? In retrospect, as I just, you know, silently review everything I've said in the last half hour. Looking for reasons to kick myself. It's all good. I'm sure everyone does that. It's fine. It's fine, guys. And the blue shorts. Ba-ba-ba. And that was... We'll go with this water bottle. Okay. It's Weatherman Geoff. Why did I send a hurricane to poor Rose? Yeah, that hurricane was no joke, huh, Helene? That was, yeah, like the amount of damage, power outage, flooding, loss of life it was a bad one. I think a lot of it had to do with the inland flooding, and that was... I don't know, it's this weird thing as a meteorologist, because it's cool to see the power of these storms and like what's going on inside them, how they work, but like you never want to see it have that impact, right? Like it sucks, and my heart goes out to all the people who have been impacted. Why haven't you solved weather yet? Well, you see. Look at it this way. Weather is just everything trying to reach equilibrium. You've got the, you know, spin of the Earth, the tilt on the axis, the unequal, you know, orbit from the sun, all these things that create heating imbalances, and then the rest of it, they just need to, you know, it's just trying to get back to an equilibrium state, which it can't because of constant external output to the system. Cure it already. What would a cure for weather look like? I'm curious. Maybe. Actually, I probably should just get rid of that line. Maybe that's too much. In retrospect, that was the wrong call. That's okay. There we go. That's better. All right. Go back to our flat colors layer so I don't get mixed up. Disprove flat Earth in 1 minute to keep your weatherman status. I mean, I've flown from, you know, across big chunks of the globe. Have I flown all around the world? Like, I feel like there is sufficient evidence based on people's, you know, travels, seeing the Earth from space, the mathematics of like the orbit of the stars and the sun. I feel like it's all pretty well documented. I don't know. Well documented. That's not the word I'm going for. None of this would work if it was a flat Earth. Lunar eclipses would look weird. Yes. Right. That is actually a really good, simple one to point to. Like, if the Earth. Yeah. That's interesting, because I wish I had some kind of like really smart, clever, like, oh yes, that's the best thing. Clearly he's a weatherman. Like, what a great snappy answer to the question. I don't have a great one, but that's partially just because it feels like after years and years of study and all the things, like, it just feels so obvious that none of it would work that it's like I've never thought about, like, why would I even need to argue that? Yet I know there are people who would want to argue that, which is weird to me and challenging. That's the takeaway? That's the takeaway from all that, Frank? That's what happens when you select on the panel border. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, really, I'm just filling in his water bottle in here. Do some cleanup. So I like using some of these, you know, effort-saving tools like the magic wand and lasso and fill bucket and stuff, and it's cool, but then I always am like, you know, I have to go back and do all this little cleanup anyway. Why am I really saving effort? I just have to go back and do this anyway. What if I had just colored in with pen in the first place? You need to interview me? I will not be paid for the interview, though. That's fine. I think that's, you know, that's fine. What is this interview about? And why? And where is it going? And where am I? And what year is it? Explain homeschooling your kids? Because in Untitled Comic number 3, one of the kids is homeschooled. It's just what worked for us. Like, it's funny, I don't have this like giant soapbox argument. It's just what worked for our family. Like, we had a kid finish preschool, and the preschool they went to was a pretty advanced curriculum. So they'd already done like the entire kindergarten curriculum, and we're like, okay. And we realized like a lot of the parents from there had been like, yeah, you know, we had older kids and they went to kindergarten and they ended up like getting in trouble because they were just bored, or we had to like work with a teacher to be able to send them extra work to do. And at that point it's just like, well, we have the flexibility so we can make it work. What's the process? I think that's going to vary depending on homeschool families. That's like the whole point. You know, I think the few other ones that we've talked to also there tends to be a structure to the day, but because it's one-on-one time, there's not as much kind of fluff of waiting for the rest of the class to finish or having to take turns while the teacher comes around. So, you know, they start the day, they'll get some movement time, they'll move to time at their desks where they'll work through, you know, the subject blocks. Our kids do some together, some independently. So, you know, language arts, math, science, history, all of those. Sometimes, you know, we'll work in special units. You know, they were doing some Spanish and Duolingo for a while, which clearly from last week I could have, you know, used that review. How do we socialize our kids? I mean, you have to work at it, right? Because the kids aren't just they don't just happen to be there. So you have to find meetup groups. Playgrounds that are nearby you are wonderful because, you know, there's other kids there and they can make friends that way. There's places like the library system. Some of them may have homeschool classes where you can bring them, and then there's other homeschool kids so they can make friends in social groups that way. If they're into sports or extracurriculars, you find it that way. There's an online platform that's amazing called OutSchool with online classes with other homeschool learners. Okay, good, because the girl is homeschooled, but she doesn't have friends. I mean, maybe a bit of a generalization, but there are challenges that you have to account for with it, absolutely. You need to make the effort to make sure your kids have those social outlets. That's why she bugs a new kid, because she's looking for a friend. Only this song had come on right when I finished the comic, it would have been perfect. Man, your comic has a lot of undertones going in it. A lot of socioeconomic and cultural nuance and commentary. Just wanted something narratively interesting. Yeah, it's true. I think it's important. Like, there's details of the story that maybe aren't directly related to the plot, but they like still form a backdrop and can add extra like depth to it. So it's always good to make choices that, yeah, add some complexity, or at the very least add some diversity or representation, because, you know, it is important to represent different, like, all walks of life, right, in comics. Almost done with your outline. Wow, you outline. I thought you just sat down and did the whole thing in one go. It came out perfect. Starting from zero. Yeah. No, I don't blame you. I just, because you're so fast with it, I thought you kind of Just did it all in one go. I need outlines and planning and all the things myself, so not coming from a place of judgment. Or at the very least, like, Ashley and I will have like thoroughly discussed the topic, so even if you see me sitting down and drawing or writing seemingly cold, like, we've worked out a lot of the details. And even then the comic becomes like a starting point, and we are making revisions to kind of refine it. This is in the Star Wars trilogy here. Wait, when you say that, are you saying that the Star Wars trilogy isn't planned out, or was too heavily planned out? I know you're a Star Wars fan, so I'm not trying to do shots fired here. I'm just trying to understand. Sequel trilogy wasn't planned. Okay, gotcha. That's right, because even though George Lucas had a sequel trilogy planned out, they didn't use it, right? Like, that was... I am making the ice cream person be vaguely modeled after Ashley. Because why not? Because she's a nice person who gives children ice cream. Wait, what now? Oh. It's a cameo. It's a cameo. Another Ashley cameo. Apparently you inspired me, Frank. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. Should make this like a strawberry ice cream. I feel like strawberry is a good way to go. Good, now you owe me a nickel. Call it even, with the scoop on homeschooling. That was terrible. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry for perpetrating that joke upon you. Alright, what was I doing? Apparently drawing some sort of comic or something. No, that's not really a huge difference. Nope, that's what I want to do. Darken, desaturate. That looks pretty good. Okay. Okay. It'll be easier just to use the pen here. Okay. I will come back to deciding on the ice cream color later, as I have one more child to color in. go back here real quick. Fix this since I drew this child wearing a tank top in panel 1. And we must have consistency in our world. Imagine doing comics in color. Yeah. Although you think that's crazy. Is it Prunella? I think it is. I need to look this up for a second. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Yes. Okay, hold up. Okay. Just a moment. I'm going somewhere with this. I promise. But, yeah, so this book, Prunella and the Cursed Skull Ring, by an artist named Matt Lux. Yeah, he every panel, not just the cover, everything is watercolor. Like, he did the whole thing, and it's, you know, it's 160 pages. It's not small. OMG, I illustrated that book. Frank, are you Matt Lux? Because if so, I also loved your Time Museum series. It's great. But yeah, this book, every single panel, like, you can see the detail on the cover. If you can get it from like your local library to check out, or buy it because it's a good, fun story, highly recommend. But it's like watercolor, every panel. Oh, he did. Okay. Like, yeah, all the color Calvin and Hobbes are watercolor. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I just recently, I found this week an old photo from it was like Ashley and my first Halloween married, and we were Calvin and Hobbes for Halloween. Like, we were all in. We hand sewed the tiger costume and everything. Well, we were all in for the you know, for Hobbes. I just kind of spiked up my hair and got a baggy red shirt that I drew lines on. But somehow it still made a fairly convincing Calvin, if you ask me. Gonna invade your privacy and demand that photo. Well, I might double check with Ashley if it's cool that I share it on the stream, but another time perhaps. But yes, it did indeed happen. Worth a shot. Oh no. What does it all mean? Okay. So their legs kind of disappear there. That's problematic, huh? Okay, there's tank top. I just do that though, kind of clear. I feel like at least gives the feel that there's something behind. Also, Corey's hair. Didn't really give them a shoe color. Maybe slightly barely off-white works for me. Oh. Also, but yeah, if Ashley's cool with it, I will show it on stream if Ashley's cool with it. I just want to make sure. I mean, she probably will be, since we actually were... it might actually also show up in a Core Toons video feature that we're doing as well. We're doing this cool new thing this season where we kind of sit, like some of us as the creators, and talk about stuff. You know, I really try. I really try. All right, but yeah, we're doing some video features, and we did share the picture with our Core Toons team members, Core Toons friends. I'm not sure. They're definitely friends. I'm not sure the best way to describe it. But indeed, we shared it. So that may be coming to that Core Toons video feature as well. So it'll probably be fine. But I'm just gonna double check. It's not like a crazy costume. Like, I'm really proud of the work that we did on it, though. Like, it came together really well. Hand sewed and everything too. We took shifts. It's just gonna kind of blend in. Do I need to... I can try to bring it a touch darker. Yeah, there's room. There's room. I can't tell if I'm like overjoyed or mildly disappointed that, like, I wasn't sure if there would be enough work left in this comic to take us until the 11 o'clock mark, and here we are, 11:05, and I haven't even started shading yet. So maybe finishing this comic will be plenty for tonight. Now I just have to decide on what my character's favorite ice cream flavors are. You have to know these things. I say she's a mint chocolate chip person. That's what I'm gonna say. Let's say mint chocolate chip for Chloe. Do an earthquake comic. But I'm a meteorologist, not a geologist. Yeah, definitely mint chocolate chip. I think that was the right call for her. Earthquakes are weather. Well, they are natural phenomenon. That's all I got to say about that. I was in the DC area when they had the quake back in, oh gosh, It's like a 5.9, 5.6, 5.9, something like that. Was that 2011? Might have been 2011. That was the only earthquake that I've ever been in, and it was a very fascinating experience. I was on the 11th floor of a building. Imagine being a meteorologist and not knowing what weather is. Fair. It was funny though, because we were moving to a different floor of the building, so people were packing up boxes of the stuff from their desks, and like there was like a big recycling bin out in the hallway, so people would periodically come and dump like big heavy binders in, so it would make this kind of like thunking rumbling. It was right next to my cubicle, and like when the earthquake first happened, I thought that someone had just dumped like an armful of binders, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then it kind of just kept going, and like I could hear some people that were having like casual conversation a little ways down, and like as soon as it became clear to everybody that it was an earthquake, one of the guys, I'll just never forget, he's just like, literally, I'm out of here, and then just like made a beeline, which seems like an appropriate response. But yeah, it was just one of those moments. It felt like a television line. I'm out of here. All right, we're doing okay. Shading starts now. I should probably. All right, you know what I am gonna do? I'm gonna take a break because I have to go to the bathroom anyway. So I'm gonna hop over to be right back. I'm gonna take a quick like 2 or 3 minute break, and I'll be right back. We'll get this thing shaded, and boom, there we go. First comic of Core Toons season 1. Yeah, Frank, I'll be back in just a couple minutes. See you in a few. Yeah, I better run, but I'm running right back. That's right. I don't know, that's not really how you... Anyway, I'm back. I have water. I keep forgetting to bring a water bottle so I can actually hydrate during stream. Although apparently I'm taking the long, slow road to affiliate, so... Nobody can tell me that I have to hydrate with channel points or anything cool like that. I could just make a stream elements command for assigning channel points. That'd be kind of funny. I could give Frank negative points. I'm really just testing to see if he's listening. There we go. Wait, that's not right. Oh, right. Because I'm on the shadows layer. That's why. That's why. Alright. We're going to shade this thing. Remove the chat box because I have some choice words for you. No. Okay. You know, I had done so well for a while getting in the habit of using hotkeys, and then I completely forgot they existed again. So I'm gonna go back to trying to force myself to use them more. Wait, do you really have choice words, or are we just doing a bit? I can't tell sometimes. OMG, Geoff. Read the JKs. I was gonna try to come up with some like clever acronym that would mean that would be, you know, openly hostile. But then I decided it wasn't, you know, wasn't that funny. So, good point. Good point. The JKs were right there. You know, the JKs were just right there. If I stop making sense at any point tonight, just be aware that like I got like 5 hours of sleep last night. And it's probably fine. Just one of those nights. Get kids to bed, do dishes. Thunderstorms wake you up in the middle of the night on an already late night, and kids wake up early, and then before you know it, you're tired. We did have some pretty amazing storms roll through, though. Yes, I am talking about the weather. Thanks for asking. I don't know what I'm doing right now. It's cool. Okay. Give it a little bit of shadow. How's the comment coming, Frank? It's gonna be more like that. Doesn't need to be. Almost done with panel 1. Hey, me too. But I started 3 weeks ago. It's funny, I don't usually worry about ground shadows in these, but for some reason I feel like I need it for the soccer scene. It does help anchor them into the scene, that's for certain. Arts. Uh-oh. What happened, Frank? I hate art and doing things. Is what? Why do you just want to do nothing? Would you care to elaborate? Like the dude from Office Space. Oh man, every now and then I remember that movie exists. I'm like, I should watch it again sometime, but then I never do. It really does nail so much of office worker life, though, I gotta say. I think I've mentioned before that I work remotely from home, and I do not miss commuting and cubicle life. And don't get me wrong, it's nice to see your coworkers, and there's value there in a lot of things. But for me, especially with kids and our family, like, it's just, I can't imagine how we would do this otherwise. You know, I think I've mentioned we have some challenges in the family with epilepsy and stuff, and we have had some rough situations, and I can't imagine how I would have felt like being in office while that all went down, and you know, Ashley having to deal with it all, or yeah. But on top of all that, just like having been remote for the better part of a decade now, you know, I think don't miss the office routine. But I have gotten like totally off track. Frank, why do you hate art and doing things? Just because you'd rather do nothing? Fair. That is a completely valid opinion. Although counterpoint, I oftentimes feel like I'd rather do everything. If given the option between doing something and doing nothing, you do nothing. Unless doing something helps someone else do nothing. So you proactively share peace? You work all night to make sure nothing gets done. That's impressive and a little bit scary. Oh gosh. Wow. Just don't use these in your interview responses, Frank. Whatever you do. Although it does kind of show a weird dedication that I think you have to respect a little bit. Yeah, I'd say respect. You've made peace with the fact that you're unemployed. What? Unemployable or just prefer to be self-employed? Because that is also a very real category of human. Where it's, you could do it, but it's gonna go better for you, or you'd be much happier just being self-employed. I do love this Dire Docs mix they got going right now. Both. It's both. Sure. I mean, I just want to make sure that, you know, you do give yourself a fair shot, like. But at the same time, it's good to know, like, what you really want and how you work best. Add a little grass texture in here. Oh, right. I usually add a little bit of shading on the clouds, just to give them a little tiny bit of weight and depth. I want to, because they're supposed to be like cirrocumulus. Do I want to make them really puffy, or should I make them a little bit flatter? I might actually lighten these guys up. Yeah, I'll use a lighter shade too, and how's that? Maybe even a little bit less. Bring down my brush size. They are just clouds, Geoff. Oh yeah? Because... Sorry, I turned away as I was saying that. Oh yeah, because... I have things. Where are you? No? Where are you? There we go. Are they just clouds, Frank? Because I've got the books to prove that there's so much more. What about that, huh? Are they, for example, I'm gonna go to full screen mode just for this. No. See, are they cumulus congestus, perhaps? Or perhaps they're just regular cirrus, like we have right here. Or maybe they're nimbostratus, as you have up in this corner, which are raining stratus clouds. Nimbostratus is a gray cloud mass from which widespread and continuous rain or snow falls. It's precipitating, as you know. Okay, draw cumulonimbus now. I mean, I've done that. Probably the coolest. Ooh, this page is like, it has one, like the coolest cloud type, the Mammatus clouds, the one that kind of look like the bottom of a UFO hanging down. But then you've also got my favorite meteorology word, which is, you know, feels ridiculous to say, crepuscular. Crepuscular rays, which are the names for those beams of sun that peer out from behind a cloud. So crepuscular. Do a comic where there are meteors. I do comics with hydrometeors, which just means liquid droplets. I was born to be a weatherman. I was forged. I don't really know where I'm going with that. Boo. I know you're saying crepuscular right now. I know you can't stop saying crepuscular. Secretly, you feel delight within you as you repeat the word crepuscular. Search your feelings. You know it to be true. Oh, yep. Why am I like this? It's good times. Geoff, explain Beanie Babies. I can't. It was like this weird alternate stock market in the 90s. But now it's, I don't think, worth anything. But people were really intense about it for a while. Things got weird. I mean, they're still around, right? Right? They still make them. They just aren't like, this Beanie Baby is worth $1 gajillion. If you have this one, you can retire at the age of 22. It sounds insane when I try to explain what actually like happened with it. It's just, you know, it's just one of those things where you're like, wow, that really happened. The world is a much stranger and nope, that is a fill bucket, Geoff. That's not a pen. Now explain the recession. I'm not an economist. I can tell you that it happened. Also, which recession? About the most intelligent thing I can say right now on that is, or, well, not on that specifically, economically, is that, hey, can't believe they're on day 3 of the dock workers strike. But I don't really know anything else about it. But I know it's a thing. Explain the tiger poster. Well, zoo books. You see, sometimes parents want to buy their children things, but they feel like they need to have an external world value of education. No more banana. Wait. More bananas. I don't. So, like, you're a kid, right? And you're watching Saturday morning cartoon, and you're like, whoa, Ninja Turtles, this is awesome, sweet. But then a commercial comes on, and you're totally bummed. But sometimes they have stuff like candy, and you're like, yeah, that sounds great. And then there's like, whoa, guys, zoos. And you're like, I'm listening. And then they're like, but check this out. Tiger poster. And then boom. And it's this giant tiger poster, and you're like, yes. Is that bananas enough? That is what you meant, right? Or did I just kind of go off the deep end there for a second? And another cloud? What are garbage pail kids? Garbage pail kids are the parodied cousins of Cabbage Patch Kids. It's like, what if you're like a tough kid and you're like, I like Cabbage Patch Kids, but I'm afraid to tell anybody because it's the 90s and everybody holds that stuff in because it's not cool, right? And then you're like, maybe I'm gonna make them gross. They make gross ones, that's cool. I can be cool and still like gross Cabbage Patch Kids. Yeah, let's do it. I don't remember a whole lot of the specifics otherwise about Garbage Pail Kids, to be honest. I remember them being a thing. Don't remember the details. Feels like there's even more Animal Crossing music than usual on the Game Chops Radio tonight. You know, it's good. I'm not complaining. I like me some Animal Crossing. Now explain Pogs. You know, sadly, I missed the Pog train. I missed the Pog train a little bit. I got some like with like, I don't know, high C boxes or whatever. They were like these random Marvel ones that didn't even really prominently feature their characters. It was just like random tiny bits of panels. So that's all the Pogs that I had. There was a game you could play with them, right? I don't really know how it worked. Like, I think I tried once or twice and I'm like, this is just like pieces of a juice box and it feels weird. And then I stopped. But like, they were highly collectible, right? Can you explain Pogs? Also, is this like, are we playing Challenge the Elder Millennial to explain things that were borderline like Gen X Millennial? Because I don't know. I just come here and I draw the pictures. I don't know what happens. No, this was before I existed. Yeah, so maybe I was at the tail end of the Pogs craze. I'm guessing by the time you make High C Juice Box, you've pretty well run your course. I didn't watch that one. I can't really explain it. I don't know enough. I must admit my ignorance on that one. I remember being totally hyped for when Friends was gonna preview, which was weird because I was like an elementary school kid. But like I got the Rembrandts, the band that did the opening song for Friends, like their whole album based entirely on the fact of like that 1 minute clip of the I'll Be There For You song that was the opening to Friends. Honestly, it wasn't a bad album. Like, I rather enjoyed it. I've made worse musical investments. Frank, am I content right now? Is that what's happening? I mean, I guess I kind of am my own content, but I don't really know. Ecto Cooler was the best high C flavor. That's it. That's the whole tweet. Oh my gosh, I loved Ecto Cooler. It was so good. It was, you know, some generic fruit punchy flavor with probably a bit more citrus or lime, maybe some pineapple in there extra. But man, it was so good. It was so good. It just, you open your lunchbox and you have Ecto Cooler and you knew it was going to be a good day. I mean, I was also a big Ghostbusters fan, which probably played a lot into that, but man, I remember it being really good. I mean, it was either that or Kool-Aid Cool Bursts, which you could twist the top off of, and then you would try to wear the thing as a ring, even though it didn't really close around your finger. That was just what you did. That's what everyone did, and I did it. And yeah. And those are pretty awesome too. There was a blue one that I liked. Jolt Cola. Never had Jolt. I drank more than my fair share of Mountain Dew though, probably. I would say. Yes. Oh my gosh. Did I do the free soda from the bottle cap thing? I don't think I did. But what was fun, when I was in college, one of my friends came to visit, from Wisconsin, and we just we were the group of kids that just got into the kind of random and a little bizarre project that you're just like, why? And so what we did was we got regular Mountain Dew. Wait, did we get regular? No. Which one was the blue Mountain Dew? Was Baja Blast the blue? Yes. There was a green one though. Anyway, we collected, like, we got 3 different flavors of Mountain Dew. Code Red was one, Baja Blast was another, and then there was a third one. And we boiled them down on the stove until it became like a syrup. And then we created triangle molds out of, it's called, okay, this would have been early 2000s, so it might not have been that then. But boiled it down into the syrup. And then we made triangle shaped molds out of foil, poured it in there and cooled it, and we made like a Mountain Dew Triforce in the freezer. I don't think we did anything with it after that point, but it was kind of just a mission to see if we could do it, and we did, and that was good times. Exactly. This was my whole disclaimer. I mean, to be fair, we also in high school constructed crude scale armor out of America Online for free CD-ROMs, and with like shin guards made out of taped together pixie stick wrappers, and helmets made out of soda boxes. We were, you know, resourceful, if anything. Explain MapQuest. Yeah, I mean, is it weird that there was ever a time that we couldn't just like get live directions that followed us wherever we wanted to go? I made several trips home from college that were guided by printed out directions of a like 1,000 mile drive. Yeah, you had to either know the roads or have planned out a route or be able to ask for directions. Yep, that was a thing. I mean, still technically it's a thing. Not everybody has a phone or chooses to use their phone for navigation. I'll do it that way. That's good. Ew. Oh. Cheetos asteroids. What? I am not familiar with this. Perhaps this was my hiding under a rock phase. I didn't really hide under a rock. I don't know. Oh yeah, those existed. I forgot about 3D Doritos. I don't know, they're pretty good. Like, they weren't the worst. Like, seriously, are you just like looking up like 90s 2000 things and like challenging me? Is that what's happening here? Okay, so you do remember these. Okay. Did you hear of or remember Clear Pepsi? Because I definitely tried that. Crystal Pepsi. It's pretty good, in my opinion. But I tend to focus on the positives. That's Crystal Pepsi to you. Yes, Crystal Pepsi. Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. McDonald's. Wait, was there? You're saying there was a McDonald's theme Monopoly? Like, I feel like that shouldn't be that big of a surprise. There's like a Monopoly for everything. Oh, where you collected the little stickers from like your drink things and the fry boxes. Yes, I remember that. They don't still do that? They don't still, it's not like anymore? No? I'm very in touch with the world. It's cool. I know what's going on at all times. Yes, and you mostly you just won like random sides at McDonald's so that you'd have to go back to claim them and then have to buy like food, or you know, they tried to encourage you to. It was like a sweepstakes. It was a scam. Well, it was legit, but the guys running it were giving winning pieces to their friends and family. Oh, well, that part I didn't know, but also that sounds par for the course for like the 90s and 2000s. You know, or maybe just humanity. Not always sure. Not always sure. It got revealed before. Well, I can see why that might have been less remembered. Yes. No, that's the whole, we're saving that arc for later. Oh man, imagine if we actually did have a plan to do that. That would be kind of incredible, but kind of terrifying. Listen, sometimes you make a stylistic choice. Ultimate got your nose comic. Yeah, at the end of the season, we're gonna pan out. We're just gonna have one last panel that pans out to reveal the Nose King, just sitting there on a throne with a pile of noses behind him. No, we're not gonna do that. That's very much not on brand for Core Toons. Very much not on brand. Gotta catch 'em all, but it's noses. Holy moly, okay, this is... I thought I was gonna finish this one fast, but I always underestimate the number of details. It happens. It happens a lot. But the good news is we're just about there. For real. Explain the Pokemon trend in the 90s. Is there anything specific about it? Because honestly, I'm not quite sure. Explain like I'm 5. Don't 5-year-olds? Maybe Pokemon's a little bit old for 5-year-olds. I don't know. At least, you know, the concept of it. I think I should have our kids Pokemon around that age. I am struggling with finding a angle to this, right? Like it's, you know, Pokemon came out and it was popular and whatever, and especially in the 90s, we really loved collecting things. Um, oh, nice. Like the Lavender Town music comes on right when we're doing this. Perfect timing for an ominous explanation. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the take is on this one. It's just like it came out. It was really popular. It was one of those first things that really, I feel like, one of the first times that Japanese culture, like something that a game series or something like started to really get mainstream attraction, like not attraction, traction in the US. Because I mean, I remember when I had to like go to Sam Goody to buy anime, you know, and there wasn't like, it was definitely not mainstream. Like it wasn't like pre-Adult Swim, pre-Toonami. Like it just was like there was like a couple hour block on Sci-Fi Channel on Saturday mornings, and that was your chance to watch anime. Explain like I don't know Pokemon. Imagine a world. See, I struggle with this one because I really like Pokemon and I want to make sure I do it justice and don't just go over the top for the sake of humor. Excuse me. Because also, let's face it, a lot of the low-hanging fruit in terms of jokes and social commentary and whether or not it's proper to capture small, like, magical creatures in balls and force them to battle each other, it's been done. All right, now it's just become like the battle to actually finish this comic before I wrap up stream. You just raised your okay. You never battled them, didn't worry about the gyms, any of that stuff. Well, that's very good. That's very kind of you. Warm-hearted, even. So what was your first Pokemon generation that you played, Frank? Maybe I'll just conveniently leave that off there. X and Y in high school. Okay. I don't need to go, you know, feel old anywhere or anything. It's cool. It's cool. What am I doing with these shadows? I think I'm just rushing it too much. Just rushing it too much. No need. No need. It's all good. Okay. Nice work. We almost finished the comic at the same time. I see you are taking it easy tonight. Okay. Yeah, I think we're pretty much there. Honestly, just turn the text back on. I'm pretty happy with this. Oh, you haven't done the background yet? Were you going to do one? Because, I mean, that's always a stylistic choice you can make. All right. Well, you look at that, guys. Maybe not as fast as I'd hoped, but we got there. We got there just under the wire. Whee! And I thought it's a time lapse just for fun. Okay. Not bad. All right. I'm saving. Always save your work. Just gonna change. I mean, there's so many ways to do backgrounds. I need to get better. Like at remembering that I don't have to go all out on detail. I think I have a tendency is to jump in a little bit too much. When you can just do like a gradient, or even do like the whole what Clip Studio? Are you okay? Oh dear, what is happening? There we go. But where you can just do the whole kind of like, you know, here's your panel. You know, and you can do like the whole like, oh look, there's buildings here. Stuff like that. Like you can do really simple monochrome stuff. I know there's all sorts of levels of doing it. I've started playing around a little bit with doing like balloon pen or lasso fills and just not doing lines, or doing really light lines over the top. Merge all layers, then save. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I'm playing around with it so I can get quicker at backgrounds, especially for graphic novels. We actually did Kidlit GN to have a pitch event this week, so we pitched a couple of projects, and you know, needing to consider like, all right, let's say an agent and or editor were to pick us up on one of these. I need to make sure I can put out like 80 to 200 pages of graphic novel in a reasonable time frame. I think I can do it, but I definitely will want to think carefully about my backgrounds. All right. Well, look at this. We've completed our art journey for the day. Whee! Have you been forever changed today, friends? Oh man, I almost had it. I just stuttered on that last line. Yeah, I realized that one thing, like speaking of merging all layers and saving, if I'm doing more of like a painterly thing, I'm like, oh, I can still do my usual shading, except then I just merge it all down, and then I can use the color picker to do the brushing and stuff, and that's a little bit easier. But yeah. So here we are, friends. It is tomorrow here, and I have a fairly early morning meeting. So I actually need to wrap up and cut stream. I really thought I was going to be done with that piece in an hour. It's okay. It's good. I'm happy with how it came out. It's worth it. get this Core Toons season started off right. Happy with the work. All right. So I'm gonna wrap up here, Frank. Go away. But yeah, thanks for joining. It's always good to hang and chat with you. Hope you have a good rest of your night. Hope you have a good week. Everybody, I will be back next Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern time here in the States. That's how we do it. That's my art time. In the meantime, thank you for anyone who came by. Always enjoy the chatters. Lurkers are always appreciated. If you're watching the VOD either on Twitch or YouTube, thanks. I really appreciate you coming by and enjoying this. I enjoy sharing it. Well, you don't have to enjoy it, but I hope you enjoyed it. And I enjoy getting to share this time with you guys. I enjoy my art time a lot. So yeah, I think that does it for this week. Frank, again, good to see you. Have a good week. Everybody have a good week. Good night. Thanks and bye.